What up, y'all? Welcome to the Bruce Brothers Podcast. My name is Violent J, and I am joined by Jeeves, who is monitoring the chat room, and I'm joined by my brother Rob over there, who's gonna take the helm in a second, and of course, I'm joined by my lovely daughter, Ruby Bruce. So, Rob, what's today's episode about?
Tonight we're going to delve into the mystery of a creature that is reported to stand between 7 and 9 feet tall, hairy, mysterious, elusive, hard to capture on film, been reported and seen all across the United States, throughout Canada and the world from now until like 1,000 years ago. Many have seen it, very little evidence, but tonight we'll delve into the footage that does exist, the stories that have been told around campfires for centuries. We're talking about a topic that's very dear and near to my brother Joe's heart. We're talking about tonight the subject of Bigfoot.
It's the Bruce Brothers. The Bruce Brothers. It's the mysteries. Step up off our nuts, please. Bruce Brothers. The Bruce Brothers. Pyramids, cryptids, high intelligence shit.
All right, so to start off, I wanted to talk about chimpanzees.
They're my favorite animal.
I know. And you've been talking about owning a chimpanzee or a small monkey. What are those small monkeys called?
Spider monkey? There's thousands of
Spider
types.
monkey? Those are little ones with long legs.
They're beautiful.
Now,
And I just want to hold a chimp. I want to hold its muscular body and feel what that's like. And if anybody out there has connections to a chimp, hook your boy up, man. Hook your boy up.
Now, chimpanzees are very close to humans in every way. They eat a lot of things, from vegetables to honey to eggs to insects, but they also eat small to medium-sized mammals and other animals, including each other.
But they hunt for sport, Rob. They
Yeah.
don't need to hunt. They don't need to eat animals, but they do it for sport. They do it, certain packs do it in the wild for boasting and celebration and things like that. It's actually not for survival,
Right.
which is crazy.
Right. So they utilize tools. They have a complex language system that they understand when talking to each other. And they've been known to possess almost human-like characteristics of problem solving and emotions, including jealousy, rage, some would even say love, which is kind of unheard of. They're so close to human that there's no other animal in comparison.
Not even
to
close.
to the range of emotions. I want to show this video real quick. This is video number 1. The chimps using tools, okay? And this is showing like some of the evolution. There's no other animal on the planet that actually uses tools.
Let me just say this real quick about chimps and primates in general. Every fucking animal is close. If every other animal is at a 5 near humans, chimps take a huge leap up to 9.
Okay, so here you
Rocks as
see.
hammers to open fruit,
Yeah, okay.
and use leaves as a sponge to soak up water to drink. They flail sticks and throw rocks as weapons to intimidate other animals, or even use sharp sticks as spears. They'll even use vines and sticks to play tug-of-war or keep away with.
Okay,
Chimpanzee
let's
youngsters
go
can
to the
learn
next
by
video.
observing.
This is chimps using spears. Now, there could be nothing more horrifying. I'm terrified of chimpanzees.
I know.
They're scary.
I'm
They're dangerous.
terrified.
They're
They
scary.
can rip your face off, like literally.
And they have. They have.
Exactly. Can you imagine a chimpanzee, a group of chimpanzees coming at you with spears?
So you guys don't understand. Yes, there's been chimpanzees that have ripped people's face off, Jeeves. But you have to understand, just like certain people are insane, certain chimps are insane. You know, you look at all the chimps, right? And everybody talks about the lady that got her face ripped off. Big fucking deal. Because, because that chimp was crazy and it was high on drugs.
It was Xanax.
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 It was high on drugs. It ripped her face off, and it was crazy to begin with. So that's gonna happen, Rob. How many humans have ripped people's face off? Countless.
Probably one's on Xanax if I had to guess.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about ripping off a face with their bare hands? None. There's chimpanzees the chimpanzees are 5 times stronger than humans.
Yes.
And they're
They
emotionally
have
unstable. They're like unpredictable.
exactly. They have brute strength. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I want to show this clip, this next video. Chimps using spears to give you an idea.
Females
of
are the experts at hunting real bush babies. They use a well-crafted weapon, a spear. During the day, when their prey hide in hollow trees, the chimps use sharpened sticks to catch them. The best hunters continually modify their weapon to suit the shape and depth of the hole. The male has a less refined technique. His spear isn't even straight.
Okay, let's go to the next video. This is the chimp with a stick sword. All right, I'm just trying to, I really want you to strike home, like, one, how intelligent chimpanzees are.
Man, you ain't got to tell me. We could
They're-
have this whole podcast about chimps.
They're so close to humans. Like, they're on the verge of being
And gorillas
human.
are the same. Gorillas and
Yeah,
chimps.
and humans
Like I was
are
saying,
gorillas as
if you have every animal, like, you know, you love your cat, you love your dog, especially when they show signs of being human, it's super cute and super awesome. If every other animal went up to 5, okay, chimps and primates take a huge leap toward, there's nothing in between, you know what I'm saying? It's like alligators, hippos, fucking whales, they all go up to a certain level. But then primates take a huge leap toward being like humans, you know? In so many ways, man. They taught a fucking gorilla sign language
Right, yeah.
and had conversations with it.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Come on, man. I saw a fucking chimp playing Pac-Man, the video game, and it knew how to eat the ghost, eat the power pellets, Ruby. A fucking chimp. And it would make itself a bourbon every night. It was raised in a house. No, for real, G. They didn't have to give it permission. It knew when it was nighttime, that fucking thing would hop off the couch, pour itself a bourbon, Rob.
Right.
Go back, flip the remote.
It's not even a pet, it's a roommate at this point.
It is. And sit there and have a nightcap. Man, I seen it.
It's a creepy little roommate that might rip your face off if it gets mad at you.
Well, a human might
All right.
eat you. That happens too.
Let's watch this chimp with the stick sword. You want this thing in the house, Joe? It's gonna grab a sword off your wall and start attacking you.
I want that to be. Look how wild it is.
It's beyond belief wild.
They're like permanently kids.
And they attack each other. They got in this, the whole thing. Look, the whole thing with them using weapons and stuff and tools. Like, that's what you want to happen to you, Joe?
Man, that happens with humans all the time, Rob. You act like that's not something humans do.
But do
Humans war with
do
each other.
animals normally do that? Do you see dogs doing that?
It's just that they're acting like humans.
I'm about to shut you down in a minute.
Man,
about
it's
how
like
this
they're
is
in
not-
prison together, Rob. They
this
live
is
in that courtyard all fucking day. You don't think prisoners fall out sometimes? Hell yeah, they do. And people always talk about how chimps throw shit. They throw their poop. There's nothing else to throw.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you go see the chimps at the zoo and they throw their poop, what else is there to throw in there?
They have spears and swords too, apparently, as we just seen.
All right, so chimpanzees' DNA is basically 98% that of humans. And they really do seem like cute, furry iterations of human beings walking around. They're so cute. You just want to pick one up and hug it because it's like they're like huggable creatures. I want to show this next clip here. This is a chimp walking like a human. Now I want to point out chimpanzees using tools and stuff. This is relatively new. This has not been going on for a
They
long
were not
time.
doing that.
They weren't doing
100
that
years
like-
ago. They
like-
are evolutioning
like
right before our eyes.
Not even 10 years ago. Like them using tools, it's like, oh shit, we can use tools. It's like they're starting to get intelligent. They're starting to become more human-like, and they're evolving. Like, what are chimpanzees going to be like 1,000 years from now? They're
Probably
gonna
like me and
they're
you.
Gonna, they're gonna be hairy
gonna
ass
be
humans.
people, yeah.
They're gonna be hairy ass humans probably with long arms, but driving cars and like going to work.
They're kind of already doing that.
Gonna
They're
have
already
the
getting there.
insane chimp posse.
All right, let's watch this footage here. This is number 4, a chimp walking like a human. Look at it.
That's the person in a suit.
That's right, Rudy. A chimp, yes.
Vince McMahon's walk.
Yeah, that's Vince McMahon headed to the ring.
It's uncanny. It's like it doesn't.
Gotta get that banana.
It's not human, but it looks so human.
He's so ripped.
You ever seen a chimp without hair?
Oh my God, it's
That's just
scary.
like,
It's terrifying. They look,
That's just a person.
it's like a muscle-bound steroid person.
All right, so the thing with the chimpanzees that make them so terrifying is their aggression, right? They have a lot of rage, and commonly they're known to attack each other. They have 5 times the strength of humans, and they have canine-like teeth, okay? And when they attack you, and this is unlike most humans, they go for your digits.
Yes.
They bite off your fingers. They go bite off your nose. They bite off your genitals. You know what I'm saying? Your toes, your feet. Like that's
Quit
what
picking
they.
on chimps, man.
I'm just saying. Like they go for it all. Like they try to just destroy you.
What the fucking alligator does? The alligator spin and rips your intestines out. I mean, what's the difference?
Well, the alligator's not walking on 2 legs, making spears.
Give me that. Anyway, I'm trying to paint a picture here. Okay, this is all leading up to the Bigfoot.
All right.
All right. Anyway, so there was this couple, and they own this chimpanzee called Travis.
We all know this story, Rob.
Well, not everybody
Come
out there
on.
knows
So
it.
what? It ate her face. We already know.
Not everybody out there knows it.
How many
Okay?
times we gonna tell this fucking story about a chimp that ate the lady's face?
So back in 2003.
He's a household name at this point. Everyone knows Travis. the
Look,
chimp.
Travis was walking around. He was getting dressed in clothes. He could go out, get in the car, put a seatbelt on. He was watching TV. He was like relaxing at the house, just like a
had a
little homie.
schedule.
What's
He had-
that?
he had a
Yeah, he
schedule
had a
for the day.
schedule. He's really smart. He can turn the channel on the TV. I mean, he was like a little human just chilling, right? And that's what they viewed him as a son. So back in 2003, they had a little incident where
A little incident.
where the owner is this lady, Sandra, was driving her car, and somebody threw something through the window, like just playing, like, you know, throwing something through the window. And Travis got startled when it happened. He jumped out the window, unbuckled the seatbelt, jumped out the window, was chasing the guy down like it was a friend of Sandra's. You know
Like
what I mean?
he should, man. Don't be
And-
throwing shit at the car.
Right, he was like chasing him down, like trying to get him. He's like hopping fences, like trying to get away, you know? And Sandra was calling for him to come back. Okay. Then in 2009, that's where the big incident happened. And you know about this, it's like horrifying.
Yep.
But basically what happened was Travis was inside the house chilling, and they were trying to get him to come out to the car, you know, and he wasn't having it. He was just not, you know, he's like a normal human. He's not in the mood to go for a drive. So he's chilling in the house. He don't want to leave. So one of the owner's friends took a Tickle Me Elmo doll in her hand and was trying to convince him to come out.
Right, and that's Travis's doll.
That's his doll, his favorite toy.
No.
So when he seen her with that toy, he launched into a berserker rage.
Already blew out on what, Rube?
Xanax.
Xanax.
And alcohol.
And alcohol.
Whatever else he was taking. I think some pain medication.
Like they just gave this monkey Xannies.
Yes.
calm him down.
Bars.
That's insane.
calm
So
him down.
that monkey jumped on her when he saw his toy, his beloved toy.
And what'd he do, Rob?
He mauled her face, ripped her face off, bit her nose off, bit all her fingers off.
All forgivable.
Was attacking her,
forgivable.
and it wasn't a short incident. It went on for like 20 minutes or so.
The 911 call is.
Yeah, and
he didn't recognize the lady.
the owner tried to hit her with the chimpanzee with a shovel to save her friend because she thought she was dead. You know what I mean? But hit her with a shovel and then stabbed Travis with a knife.
And Travis turned around and looked at her.
And all it did was enrage.
Seriously,
him
when
even
she
more.
stabbed it,
Yeah.
he turned around and looked at her.
Right.
And then just kept eating the lady's face.
Ruby, you heard the 911 call?
I've heard it, yeah.
That's
Quite a
terrifying.
few times.
And she was screaming, "He's eating her.
He's eating her.
He's eating her."
I
Because he
heard the
was
same
like biting
thing
her face.
about that guy that took bath salts. And I swear to God, all I watch is crime TV, Rob. Eating
Yeah.
faces is every day in the human world.
There was a PSA that you told me about where it was just a guy eating another guy's face.
That's what I'm saying, man. It happens in human world. It happens in chimp world, man.
Okay, so then the cops show up, right? They show up. Travis rushes the cop car, tries to hop through the window, right? But the window was rolled up, so he's banging on the window. The cop tries to get out the car. He runs around and attacked the cop next, and they shot and killed him
Why is he getting out of the car?
because he was responding to try to save the
If
lady's
there's a
life.
chimpanzee jumping at your window, are you going to get out of the car? Come on, man.
So what was he supposed to do? Let it run wild through the neighborhood?
Wait
and
till it
continue
gasses
attacking
out or
people?
something. Wait
It's
till
not
it,
gonna gas out. It's on Xanax.
wait till it blows up.
All right, let's listen to the 911 call of the chimp
We
attack.
are losing to it.
God, let's just examine the fuck out of the
We
chimp
gotta
attack.
examine. We
It has
gotta
nothing to do with
examine all
Bigfoot.
aspects
Person
of the
Big
Bigfoot.
backstory.
It's just Rob's hatred for chimps.
It's a Bigfoot backstory. His
What's the
origin.
problem?
Police! Send the police!
What's the problem there?
It sounds like it's from a movie.
The chimp killed my friend!
What's the problem with your friend?
Oh, please!
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know.
Send the police up! With a gun! With a gun! Hurry
Who has
up!
the gun?
Please, hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend!
What is the problem?
He's killing my friend!
Who's killing your friend?
Killed my
That was another
chimpanzee!
thing.
Oh,
I
your
heard people
chimpanzee
were
is killing your
flaming
friend.
the 911 operator.
He ripped her apart! Hurry up!
With a gun.
Hurry up, please!
There's someone on the way.
Did you hear the
Gun,
chimpanzee in the
please!
background?
Shoot him!
What is the monkey doing? Tell me what the monkey.
He ripped her face off!
He's
He's trying to attack me!
That line is the intro. to
Okay,
her, like,
I need
top
you to
15
calm down a little bit. They're on the way.
calls.
Can you put yourself away? I don't want the monkey attacking you.
This is a campaign to slaughter chimps.
They're on the way,
All right,
man.
let's look at one of the photo number one. This is
Oh, come on!
Photo number one.
investigate. We have
the
to
fuck?
What
investigate.
does that have to do with Bigfoot?
This is the aftermath. That
Man,
was
how many?
before.
Oh, God. This shit, man. How many dogs have done that to people, man?
That? I
Just
don't know.
scroll through the photos if you can. There's 4 of them.
Oh, this is awful.
It's horrible. It's so awful, man. This happened to her, you know what I mean? But she's recovering, has a lot of surgeries.
Is she still alive?
As far as I know, yeah.
Now that everybody fully hates chimps.
I'm not done though. I got another story to
Are
tell
we gonna
About
rebound on the
chimps.
chimp?
about chimpanzees.
Come on, man. We're a half hour into this thing.
Joe, I looked into this because you had the same argument. You were like, "Oh, they hardly ever attack. They attack people all the time."
What does killing chimps
And-
have to do
and-
with Bigfoot? I mean, chimps kill killer chimps.
Well, I'm just trying to paint a picture. Like, if there is a Bigfoot that exists, who's got to be similar to the ape and the.
Oh, now you're putting a stank on Bigfoot.
No, I'm just saying.
Bigfoots are peaceful.
They're not always peaceful.
Yes, I
In
swear
the
they're
documentary,
peaceful.
There's
they
plenty
were
of
throwing rocks
stories.
at the guy. They were trying to trample him with
Oh,
rocks and
this
sticks.
is a sabotage.
It was a setup. It was a setup.
I thought we were trying to big up people on Bigfoot. All we're doing is campaigning to get people to hate them.
So anyway, there was another guy, Andrew. He was basically a primate researcher at a zoo, and he got attacked by 2 chimpanzees that tried to bit off most of his fingers, pulled him under the fence, like grabbed him and tried to pull him under the gate. And here's some pictures of the aftermath of that attack.
I'd argue the zoo is a different case. 'Cause
This would be
that's jail.
photo number 5 and 6. Yeah, like, this is a guy that thinks he knows chimps. Like, he's been working with them his whole life. you know, thinking everything is good when it's not.
Well, this is a different animal, but the bear guy, he like camped with them and he swore they were kind and they knew him, and then they got him overnight.
Oh man.
I mean, literally every animal has killed an owner. They're animals. You know what I'm
like
saying? It's
tigers.
not like chimps are constantly killing people. That's why it's the same 3 stories about the chimp attacks. Every time you watch a thing on YouTube, chimp attacks, you click it, it's the same 3 stories. You know what I mean? Because that's like fascinating because it's so unusual.
But I did a lot of research, Joe. A lot of people lose fingers to chimpanzees all the time. They
I know,
bite 'em
man,
through
but
the
dogs
gates.
too, Robin. We love dogs.
All right.
Fireworks.
But again, what makes chimpanzees so horrifying, in my opinion, is they're 5 times the strength of a human. You know
True.
what I mean? That's horrifying. Like they're
And
so
a gorilla's
strong.
like 12 times. as
I
strong.
know, probably 20. All right, so then there was another story, James and LaDonna Davis, who raised a chimpanzee named Mo. And basically, Mo got put in an animal sanctuary because he attacked one of their friends. So they had to put him, and they raised him like a son. This chimpanzee, Joe, was taking showers, wearing diapers, would change his own diapers when he pooped and peed. You know what I mean? It was like they really looked at him as son. So they went to go visit Mo at the sanctuary, and they brought him a birthday cake because it was his birthday.
You know Mo didn't do the killing, right?
No, I know.
Right.
So they came out with the birthday cake. They were giving some birthday cake to Mo. So then there was like 2 chimpanzees out in the corner looking like,
In the next cage over.
why I ain't got no cake?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
Because chimpanzees have human emotion. They have jealousy and rage, and you know what I mean? They're seeing everybody over there enjoying that birthday cake, and they went into a berserk-like rage.
Yes.
And they attacked the woman first, bit off like 3 of her fingers. The husband jumped in front, tried to protect her, took a brute of the attack, and he got mauled.
What fascinates me about that story is the husband had jeans on, and the chimps knew to pull his jeans down to pull his nuts off.
No!
Yes.
Is that a fact? Did they do that?
It's true. Wow. They pulled his jeans off to pull his nuts off. They're like, we're going for the nuts.
Right, exactly.
That's
And again, that's
Scary
not
smart.
terrifying. Like that they go for your genitals.
Yeah,
they try to
it
bite them off.
absolutely is terrifying, and it absolutely is true. I'm just saying that all animals freak out at times, man. Like every kind of species of animals is known for freaking out, even ferrets.
well.
That might be true, but it's creepier when chimpanzees do it for
'Cause they're
some
so
reason.
human-like.
They're so human-like, and they have the same jealousy and rage like humans do. So, and the fact that they got huge teeth and they're like so strong, and the fact they bite your nuts off, it is just terrifying to me.
Well, you
Like,
know
I don't-
what? Imagine this though, is like the giant leap we took to the intelligence of a chimp, right? How intelligent they are and how human-like they are, right, Rube? Well, Bigfoots take another leap up toward humans.
In theory.
They're even way more human than a chimp.
Oh, yeah.
They're like the bridge between a chimp and a human, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I want to show this photo of the aftermath. So the 2 this is photo 7-8. The 2 chimpanzees were shot and killed by one of the sanctuary owners to save the guy. But you know, again, just like that other lady who was completely mauled, lost most of his digits, like it just like a horrible way to spend the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And then I want to show this video of an agitated hairless chimp. This is video number 6. I just want to show this. I'm just trying to convey, if you will, the rage and the strength, you know, that exists in chimpanzees, apes, and
Look at how fucking strong that little gremlin is. It's so powerful, Rube. That thing would rip our head right off our necks and think nothing of it. Look at it.
And you want one as a pet?
Yes,
You're
I want
wanting
that
something-
one.
I want him in my house right now.
Look at its muscles. Look at its muscles.
You're not gonna snuggle up with that, Rube, if I
like
get it as a
that
pet?
looks like a bodybuilder. He's just been lifting weights his whole life. You know what I mean?
Come on, Rube, let's get that.
He's just
at
been
that,
he's just been swinging from like trees and climbing up trees and killing other animals.
You don't
like,
want that running through the kitchen like that? Chasing the cats?
All right, let's see video number 7 here. This is the hairless, that same chimp in a fight. And again, just showing you the prowess, if you will, the agility of chimpanzees in general.
They're all ganging up on
Hang
him,
up on him.
biting him. My favorite part of this footage is the after effect, though, when it climbs up on the track, climbs up on the thing, Rob.
Yeah.
The outdoor gym thing, and it's up there like licking its wounds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When it's calmed down and the fight's over, it's looking at all its bite marks and licking its wounds and shit. It's awesome, man.
All right, and this last one I want to show this last video.
Why don't we talk about how chimps greet each other in the morning and they hug? They hug each other,
This
you
is
know?
the last thing I want to show because we're not trying to dwell into the happy friendliness of chimpanzees.
I think we're
right
kind
now.
of far past that
I
point.
get that. I've noticed that.
Okay, let's talk. All right, this last clip is a chimp attacks a man. So these guys right here, we're on an island. Okay, check it out. They're on an island, and they spent years like with chimpanzees, just like trying to learn their habits, to study them. You know, they're like scientists. Or whatever.
Filmed in 1940.
Yeah, and then this is 1940, but then just out of nowhere, one day, just they got all worked up. And you know they're trying to play it off. They're trying to like use the tactics they learned, but no, the chimpanzee starts biting his fingers off, and then he jumps into the water, which is the only reason he was saved. And once the one started attacking, the other one started getting in a berserk-like rage, and then it was like they thought they knew him. They thought they were friends. They were their pals. You know what I mean? It's just dumb. They're horrifying. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about gorillas.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Gorillas.
But in your defense, Joe, like, yeah, chimpanzees, because they're human, they also have traits of like, friendliness, sharing food sometimes.
An overabundance of it.
Yeah.
And Bubbles never attacked Michael Jackson.
Okay.
You know who Bubbles is, Rube?
Yeah.
Bubbles never attacked Mike. Maybe he did. That's why Mike got his face redid.
I was about to say, man.
Oh my God! We just figured it out. Bubbles took his nose off.
Okay. So gorillas.
First, let me say this about
Okay,
gorillas.
go ahead.
My favorite animal on the planet.
Okay.
Okay, gorillas were always painted no less than what Rob just did to chimps. When they discovered gorillas, which was only like 100 years ago. But when they discovered gorillas in the United States, they painted them out to be monsters. These wild, violent fucking killers. You know what I mean? And gorillas are the least violent animal. They do not fight. They just try to avoid fighting. They are so loving. And sure, I'm sure there's cases where gorillas have ripped humans' heads off. You know what I mean? Sure. But, for the most part, and humans have ripped humans' heads off. You know what I mean?
Factual.
For the most part, though, gorillas are nothing like the way they were portrayed in movies and in the press, Rob. They're actually very loving animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you get to know them, they'll protect you. I could go on about gorillas all day.
They've exhibited like having strong family bonds. They can also make and use tools.
Yep.
Okay. They're extremely intelligent. They weigh up to 600 pounds. They're 20 times stronger than humans, and they can bench press 4,000 pounds. You know how crazy that is? That is a car. They can just sit there and get underneath your car. Oh, you need to change the tire. They can just lift it up.
I got you.
I got you. Good. All right, let's show a couple photos real quick.
And by the way, before we show the photos,
gorillas, yeah.
gorillas look, me and Ruby were talking about it, gorillas look like a man in a suit.
They always look.
Their face, it looks like somebody's wearing a gorilla mask. It's the way their skin looks. They look like a man in a suit when you see it not moving. And gorillas fart all the time. Did you know that, Rob?
Yeah.
All their diet is constant state of flatulence.
That's hilarious.
Constant state of flatulence.
They actually have rituals. Gorillas have rituals of food preparation, much like humans, like putting together food in certain ways that taste better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they've been known to remember the past. They remember things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like when they asked that gorilla on sign language, what happened to your mom? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It said fire, shooting, fire shooting because they killed his ma, her ma,
Right, wow, yeah.
So it told them what happened.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's show some photos here of gorillas, just so you can kind of get the idea of how they can bench press 4,000 pounds. Just the massive strength, the King Kong strength, if you will.
All I watch.
Look at that fucking beast, man.
All I watch is gorilla footage.
Imagine,
oh my God.
Imagine that attacking you.
I don't want to.
Ruby, have you ever seen me watching gorilla
I
footage?
hear it. I don't need to see it. I hear it from
It's
everyone.
all I watch is hours and hours of gorilla footage, Rob.
Yeah.
Like I study them in the zoo. There's people that post every day from the zoo. They go home, they go there, they film it, they go home and post it. And I watch these gorillas in the enclosures from Japan, and oh man, there's a family going on. You know, there's like, it's just unreal. Like it's like watching somebody's household.
That's crazy.
It's so identical. Everything we have, everything human emotions, every human emotion, everything we do, the gorillas do.
Right.
Everything. Oh, it's unreal, man.
So gorillas in captivity, they've been known to show aggression. The more people are there in the zoo to see them, they get more and more aggressive because in captivity, if they're in a stressful situation, they just kind of escape, right? But when they're in captivity, they can't escape. So when there's a lot of humans looking at them, they start banging on the glass, charging. They start aggressively
A
attacking
lot of that
each
is
other.
also showing off, though.
They're aggressively attacking each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they also like to show off when there's a big crowd. You know what I mean? They do the and the whole crowd goes, oh.
There's been people killed that fall into the group captivity, areas, and
Yes.
they get killed by the gorillas. But I want to show this footage here. This is of a gorilla that tries to attack a woman at the zoo, so you get an idea what I'm talking about.
They attack from eye contact, right?
Yes, you're not supposed to
yeah.
look a gorilla in the eye.
Yeah, all primates can look you right in the
Oh,
eye.
she wasn't looking at that.
Can you imagine if that
If that
woman
glass was gone,
she'd be dead.
look at it, just a ball of muscle.
It's just so. Like, they can't escape. All these humans just looking like bothering them.
Okay, there was a lady, I don't know if you're getting ready to tell the story, Rob, but there was a lady that went to the zoo every day. And the zookeepers told her, look, you shouldn't look it in the eye. You shouldn't look it in the eye. She said, no, we have a special bond. And every day she went and looked at gorilla in its eyes every day at the zoo. And one day the gorilla broke out. And it broke out from this side of the entrapment. But what did it do? It made its way all the way around to where the lady was and fucked her up.
Right.
And she thought they were always looking at each other because they had like a special bond.
Yep.
That gorilla got out and was like, all right, my chance, here's my chance, I'm fucking her up.
Right. Okay. All right. Here's another footage I want to show you of gorillas attacking each other in the zoo. Again, just so you get a gauge of the power of these creatures, and you kind of imagine like a Bigfoot, like how powerful that Bigfoot.
I can't
would
even
be.
imagine.
You know what I'm saying?
A Bigfoot will fuck a gorilla up.
They
All right.
would
This
be
is
the next
video
set of
number
gorillas.
10.
What are the zookeepers gonna do? Get in there and stop them?
Right. Come on, guys, break it up. My favorite footage, and if I'd have known we were gonna go into gorillas and chimps, I would have had it. But my favorite footage is, and I told you about this, Rob, when they were transporting a gorilla. All right, they were transporting a gorilla from the wild to the zoo, right? And they had this big iron box that it was in, and they rolled the box up to the window because there was giant wall-to-floor plexiglass, right?
Yeah.
Or probably like bulletproof glass. And they opened the thing so the gorilla could leave the cage it was in and go into the fucking enclosure for the first time. Yeah. And there was like 2 or 3 ninjas standing there looking at the glass into the enclosure. And they're just standing right at the glass looking at it. And they wheel that gorilla up to the glass, open the thing, and the gorilla goes into its enclosure for the first time. It comes running out of the cage, turns to see those 3 guys standing there. It doesn't know there's glass between them. and it just rushes and jumps up just like that one just did.
That's the thing.
And
I
it
don't
just
think
bounced off the fucking glass. But if that glass wasn't there, those 3 guys would be gone.
the difference between them and chimpanzees is it's on a little bit more of a personal level if they're choosing to rip your face off. But with gorillas, I believe it's like territorial, and that's why you can make the.
Yeah, they don't know what the
They
hell's
don't
going
attack.
on.
Just
They think you're
attack
about to
people.
kill it. You're
They
moving
do
it
it
and
just
putting it in
because it's
cages and all the
territorial.
sound, and it's riding in the back of a semi and shit. They think they're about to be executed, you know?
They're just scared animals.
They're trying to defend itself.
Let's watch this next video of a gorilla pushing down a woman. So there's in certain parts of the world, in Africa and stuff, you can take tours where these tour guides take you through the tundra, if you will, to like get a closer look at gorillas.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
I wouldn't do that either. There's no chance. I would not do that in any way.
All they do is like push you down or grab your foot and pull you for a little bit just to show you who's boss, but they don't ever kill nobody on them tours.
Or they're just curious.
Oh my gosh.
It was all in the way.
Just one hand, just like, whoop, she just fell like a domino.
That was
Slow
nothing.
motion.
Just in his way. Get out of the way.
He just said out my way. He went faster.
All right, and then let's look at this next footage here, number 12. This is a gorilla bossing up on a man. And you talking about mean mug, you talking about intimidation. Like, what are you gonna do when the gorilla bosses up on you, Joe? You gonna
Oh my god.
you know what I mean?
It's bedtime.
Quiet, and suddenly we saw the leaves move, and there was Hannibal first, who looked at us, and I sensed there was something going to happen, which really we shall never forget. Hannibal suddenly called, and Casimir answered from the background, and Adrian was very, very nervous, and we all realized this is a situation which really can end up in something terrible. Casimir came and
Because he-
screamed
Oh,
and
you
just
ain't giving the full
charged
story,
Adrian.
Rob.
Adrian
Okay, what happened?
literally had no
That guy
other
had
chance
it. Okay,
than
let me
to
tell the
take the gorilla
story.
because
Well, real
That-
quick, before you tell the story, I want to point out one more trait. Apes are the only known animals that have face-to-face sex, like humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they have oral sex.
Oh, man, I don't want to know that. I don't even know that. You're diving
gonna
deep
see a
into
fish
the...
doing that. Or a lizard. Look, all right, listen. What happened in that piece of footage, Rob?
Yeah.
That guy, okay, what happens is these hunters and they're taking land and all this shit, they kill the parents, right? And they have these baby gorillas, which they sell to zoos and shit, right?
Okay.
So this guy is like a rescue, the footage we just saw, that guy is like a rescue gorilla person. And this little baby gorilla just came in like 2 days earlier, right?
Okay.
So he's got this little baby gorilla, and he goes to see those gorillas every day.
Yeah.
Right? He goes to see him. He's like, they know me. I saw the whole documentary. He's
Okay.
like, they know me. They love me. You know, I can get all close to them. I can even pet some of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then he's like, oh, I'm going to introduce him to the new gorilla baby. Bad move.
Right. Yeah.
That gorilla saw that guy with a little baby gorilla, and he was like, oh, hell no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So he came to get it. And he did. That's why if you see it again, he hands the baby to the fucking gorilla, the silverback, pissed off, right? The silverback takes the gorilla into its camp. Now it's got the baby gorilla in its camp, right?
Yeah.
But the baby gorilla died a week later because none of the female gorillas were nursing at the time.
Yeah.
So they couldn't give it milk.
Okay.
So the gorilla ended up dying, but the silverback was trying to save that baby.
I got you.
It was like, what is a human doing with a baby gorilla? That gorilla belongs with us.
Right. Yeah, I got you. So humans have been known to evolve from basically monkeys, right? And through the evolution of 6 million years, they basically followed this trend where they went from bipedal and slowly onto 2 legs and
That's
so
a
on.
theory, but yeah.
You don't think that's true?
Fuck no, I don't think that's
All right,
true.
let's watch a video on the human evolution of man, which is, I don't know why you don't believe it, but let's check this out. This is
Because why is there still chimps then? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
For
because
millions of years,
let's
our
just watch
planet
this.
has been floating in space. Millions of creatures have lived on its surface,
Many a quaint being was among them, but they affected only our human imagination. For in the evolutionary struggle, we are the only ones who have obtained the advantage of reason. Reaching it was far from easy. Its origin dates back 20 million years to those fruit-eating creatures that lived in African trees called proconsuls. They romped about in trees far above terrestrial dangers, feeding on fruit and leaves. Depending on the species, they varied in size from the marmoset to the gorilla. They hardly cared about the world below. Proconsuls climbed about the branches on all fours and almost exactly resembled the modern-day macaque. Their upper and lower limbs were the same size. They moved leaning on open palms instead of bended fingers. Quite a few fossils of proconsuls have been found in East Africa. The skull was primitive, the brain small and rather simple, yet the comparatively small size of their muzzle and canine teeth suggests non-aggressiveness, one of the major features that led to reason.
Okay, so let me just say this, okay?
But
so when people think of human evolution, right, they think of like just one path. Like you start with the chimp and it reaches the human, right? Evolution is actually because there's all this like interbreeding and stuff going on, and evolution, it's actually a web, right? So we're part of the evolution that made it all the way to be what we are today, where other chimps just took a linear route or whatever, and they remained chimpanzees the whole time, right? And then some of the chimpanzees or monkeys, I forget what they're called, the ponticles or whatever, they formed into gorillas because they went down another chain.
Well, how come
right?
there's not
Now,
like-
but listen, this is where the idea of a Bigfoot is really interesting, because there's scientists out there that believe that Bigfoots are actually another chain of evolution that also started from the chimpanzee and went in another route. You know what I mean? So I want to show you these two pictures. One is what people think human evolution is, and the other is what evolution actually looks like. So this is what people think, like, oh, okay, this is how it all went down. And then this other photo is what it actually is, which is a chain of chimpanzees, those prehistoric monkeys, going off in different chains to create different things. And one of those chains, when you follow it along, it becomes a human. But that's why you have all these different creatures, the gorillas, the chimpanzees, the humans, all sharing the same planet right now, but all are so similar. We share 98% of the DNA of chimpanzees and apes because we're all evolved from the same monkey. We just took different paths. And one of those paths could easily be to go into what the Bigfoot is, which is a combination of a mixture of humans and apes and everything else. It just evolved into something else.
Wouldn't there be Neanderthals walking around and shit?
Well, no, because Neanderthals basically further evolved over the 6 million years.
Like, how come there's
into
nothing
humans.
that's a little bit human? I mean,
There
why is not a
are.
human that's a little bit ape,
They are. We just went over that. How they have emotions. They're.
I'm just talking about
have
something
tools.
between. I hear you. All right. I just don't know if I believe that theory, but I hear you.
Okay, so one of the anthropologists, and I'm probably gonna butcher this name. There's an ancient giant ape that they've been following.
Giantificus?
Yeah, thank you. They have 300. They have like hundreds of footprint casts of this thing.
Yeah.
And they've been studying it, and they feel like that is what Bigfoot became.
That's
the
what a lot of
scientific-
people believe Bigfoot is
Yeah.
Giantificus, which they believe were extinct only 2,000 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
But they're, a lot of people believe they're still alive, and every time they find bones or something, they say, "Oh, that's Giantificus." Okay. You know what I mean? Let's get into Bigfoot, man.
Anyway, they found like thousands of teeth of this, and they found this is all you got to realize, Joe. This is all what I'm trying to get at. You're like arguing the fact I don't believe in any of this. This is like the most scientific proof that Bigfoot might exist as an evolution from those prehistoric chimpanzees.
I know, but that's a theory, Rob.
Yeah, but let me show you these pictures of the Giantificus. That's crazy. You know what that is, man? You're definitely an expert on this. All right, just go through the photos here. There's like 4 photos right here.
Like
It-
12 feet
It
tall,
has
man.
a face like the orangutans.
Right.
Like the flared
giant
face.
orangutan.
Can you imagine coming across one of those in real life?
I would not want
You
to.
know what I mean? An ape 12 feet tall?
We have the same hair color.
So because chimpanzees went down another path of evolution, right? They're just now starting to catch up to become more human-like because they're now using tools. They're now walking on 2 legs. Like they're becoming more human as we look at them.
Yeah.
Like you're like they're intelligent, like way more intelligent than any other animal on the planet. Like Ruby was saying, like 1,000 years from now, what are they gonna be? They're gonna be fucking humans. They're gonna be humans just like us in another 1,000 years or 2,000 years or whatever, as they continue to evolve, maybe 10,000 years or whatever. But they're on that chain now. You know what I mean? And that's how, because of the web of evolution, that's how you have all these different things. All right, I want to show. We're about to get off this, and we can get more.
Just
into
for the
Bigfoot in a
record,
minute.
though, a lot of people believe grays, which are aliens, right? Grays are humans in 100,000 years from now, Rob.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're all feeble and their arms are all skinny and shit, because they don't need to do nothing. Like, they have everything to do everything. The technology is so superior, they're mad, weak, and feeble.
Right.
But a lot of people believe grays, you know, the big-headed, big-eyed alien, are fucking humans.
Right.
Like
Evolved, like
we're the chimp, and that's what we evolve into.
Right, and they left the planet or something
Yeah.
a long time ago or
Yeah.
something. All right, let's watch the next video here. Now, this is chimps and gorillas walking on 2 legs. I just want to show a little bit more of this, and we're going to get off this and get into the whole Bigfoot legend in a minute.
Those are my favorite kind of monkeys. I forgot the name of them.
But they're just chilling, man. They're like, that's them becoming human. Like, you know, it's a matter of time now before they're just walking all the time on their 2 legs. Anyway, I think this is like fascinating because it's like, what? Look at him. He's got like, he's just chilling. He's like, what, man? I'm walking. Like, what up, homie? You got some food? You got a banana? You know what I mean? Like,
He just opened the door.
they're like, oh, me, I'm just chilling, just walking, just taking a walk. I mean, that's crazy. Anyway, let's show the gorilla, the next video. This is the gorilla walking on its hind legs. Anyway, I just think it's fascinating, the
It is
whole
fascinating.
web of the evolution and how Bigfoot could just be
Gorillas
another
made
web
the
of that
family
evolution,
resemblance
you
even
know?
more obvious. Ambam, the silverbacks, learned to stand on his own 2 feet. Keepers at Port Lymm Wild Animal Park in Kent think he may have picked up the skill from watching and copying them. Drawing himself up
He's
to his
observing.
full height of
Right.
6 feet, the
Pondering.
34-stone western lowland gorilla cuts an imposing figure. Now he's progressed from learning to balance on his
That doesn't
hind
look
legs
really
to going on
threatening.
increasingly lengthy strolls. This
looks
clip
less
of
threatening right now.
Ambam swaggering
I wonder
across
how
his
tall he is
enclosure
when they're
shows
standing
the
on their
extent
hind
to which
legs
he's
like that.
mastered the art of
Like
walking.
almost
More than a
6
quarter
feet,
of
up
a
to
million
6 feet.
people watched this footage
That's
after
like
the
a normal
wildlife park
person
posted
walking.
it on
It's just
YouTube.
like I'm going out.
Keepers are
He's got a
expecting
little
a
unsteady
surge
gait.
of
He's
visitors
just
to the
like,
park
"Man,
as
I'm a little
people
drunk
flock
right now,
to
but I'm
check
going
out this
home."
very rarely observed behavior for themselves.
Looks like a guy in a suit.
All right, I say we take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna fully delve into the bottomless pit, if you will, of the legendary Bigfoot. That was just creating a picture how Bigfoot, how it's very scientifically possible, and some scientists believe it totally plausible that Bigfoot could exist to this day as another evolutionary change to that prehistoric monkey. All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Let's all scream in agony. Let's all become maggot feed. Join us on the other side. Wicked souls won't be denied. Let's all scream in agony. Let's all become maggot feed. Here comes the carnival. Till the dead carnival. Join hands with the dead and come. Bloodshed, bedlam, yum, yum, yum. Here comes the carnival. Till the dead carnival. Murder, rights, and torture fun. We've got food for everyone.
Known, as I said before, to be between 6 to 9 feet tall. They typically have flat faces that are very human-like. Some are described with no neck, long-ass arms, and glowing eyes. Is that a fair description?
No, not always.
Okay,
about the glowing
but
eyes.
they're also reported by many that encountered them to have a stench like rotting eggs.
Yeah. I think the glowing eyes thing is bullshit. I think it's similar to the way a cat's eyes reflect.
Okay.
Or certain dogs, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's something like that, but I don't think it's like a supernatural glow to their eyes. I think that's bullshit.
Some people, they've been known to be called Sasquatch, Yeti, even the skunk ape in certain areas.
That's right, in Florida. Now, before we continue, though, Rob, let's take a poll here at the table. Are you a believer or a skeptic? And keep it real.
I can only give it a percentage. I'll tell you what I give the percentage, the possibility that Sasquatches exist, and I give that percentage 15%.
15%?
Yes.
Okay. Ruby.
This is where I stand. Bigfoot might be real, but if he is, there's no footage of him.
Really?
Yes, controversial take. I think there are creatures out there that we have not found yet, and we have no information about, but I think there's a chance there's a Bigfoot-type creature out there, but there's just no footage of him.
How much of a chance?
Probably 20% chance. And
So-
he's not in Florida. He's not living in Florida.
What?
I don't see him in Florida. There's a lot of people in Florida.
So-
There's a lot of crazy people in Florida, and there's no Bigfoot in there.
So with that being said, is all the footage out there fake then?
Yes.
You
Why
believe
couldn't
everything
it be
is
that
fake?
they captured a real Bigfoot, though? Like,
Well, I think this is a crazy take. I think I was watching the documentary, and it said there's about a population of 15,000.
Mhm.
Out of those 15,000, I think that's considered an endangered species, right?
Oh, beyond, it's
There
not even
would be
considered anything.
sanctuaries. I think the government would be like, we need to put protection on him so people don't hunt him.
Mhm.
I think it would be so much more of a widespread issue if he was really out there.
Well, I think the government does do that. That's why they won't admit it's real, because I think if they did admit it's real, every big game hunter in the world would descend upon America to try to put a Bigfoot head on a plaque. You know what I mean? And what is left of them would probably get wiped out. So it's better, it's safer, and it's less scary to just act like it's a myth. You know? And when a truck driver hits one or something, I think the police come and they're like, oh shit. And then the government shows up and they're like, that's a bear you hit. You know? And they're like, that wasn't no bear. The government's like, no, that was a bear. You know?
Right.
You know, Jeeves, do you believe in Bigfoot?
I am open to Bigfoot's exist. Like, they can't not exist, right? Like, we have human beings that are Bigfoot. Like, Shaquille O'Neal exists, right? So why can't there be a giant monster bigger than Shaquille O'Neal, right? Like, I don't think it's not a possibility. I just don't think it's until a Bigfoot decides to come out and go, hi, I'm Jim. I speak for all Bigfoots, right? Like, we're just going to get to have the fun and games of do they, don't they?
Well, you know, the whole thing about...
If they exist, they have to be interdimensional beings able to shift in and out of this reality or turn invisible or something.
That's what they were at. Like,
No way,
they're time hopping. They're going through portals.
Let me ask you guys
Why aren't
this.
they picked up on trail cameras and other things like that?
Let me ask you guys this. First, I want to ask the ninjas at home watching. If you believe in Bigfoot, I want you to type 1 in the chat room. If you don't believe in Bigfoot, type 0 in the chat room. And while we're doing that, listen, Rob, how many times have you flown from across the country at nighttime?
bunch of times.
A bunch of times, right? And what do you see on the ground? You see a city, a patch of lights, this tiny little city, and then you enter what, Rube? Blackness. For a long time until you see another little city, and then you enter blackness. The most of the flight is blackness. That's how much land there actually is, wild land in this country. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In those cities, when you're high above and you're flying from New York to LA or Detroit to LA, that 4.5 hour flight, you see those patches of light at night, those cities, and the rest is just wild.
Right.
Darkness.
So kind of like the ocean. Like the ocean's so vast, there's like thousands upon thousands of creatures that
Right.
we don't even know about.
Even when you
that
drive.
scientists discover every year.
Well, I'm trying to explain
Because-
how
yeah.
they end up not being seen.
Right.
Even when you drive across the country, what do you mostly see out your fucking window? Woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's mostly what you see. You go through a city in a half hour and you go right back to woods again for the next 4 hours till you get to the next major city. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Yep.
It's like that's how much land they have, you know? And if there's so small, such a small amount, like Ruby said, if there's only 1,500 or 15,000 even, man, they can hide like a motherfucker, you know? But let's show some of the more. Can I show something?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I want to show some of the more convincing footages that I got. The first thing
Well,
I want
hold
to.
on. Do we want to start with the most famous Bigfoot?
Yeah, that's
footage?
what I was about to do.
Okay.
First thing we want to show is the most famous Bigfoot footage, the Patterson-Gimlin film. Now, we're going to talk over this, but I want you to look at something. This was filmed in 1967 in Bluff Creek, California, okay? And it was filmed in 1967, so it was filmed on a mad shaky camera and all that. And they always thought it was a male Bigfoot. They're like, Bigfoot was, it was one of the most famous, this is the most famous Bigfoot footage ever caught. But they always thought it was a male Bigfoot. And now with today's technology, they are able to stabilize it and smooth the footage out, and it's clearly a female with breasts. That's like the most believable thing to me about it. All those years, I had no idea it was a female until they're able to stabilize it and see it. Let's take a look at the Patterson-Gimlin film. Also, when it steps, you can see the rips in its thighs, the muscles flexing in its thighs when it's walking. It's massive. No costume, especially in 1967, could pull anything off like this. The Patterson-Gimlin film is the best.
This is actually 16 if you want to use the video I got. I mean, isn't that walking like the apes?
I was gonna say, it's
we were
walking
just
like a
walking.
gorilla.
We were just looking.
Look at how long its arms are and short its legs are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they came to an opening and they just caught it. They saw it. It's walking through there, and it don't mind. It's not running. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they've had a limp. They had people out there, Rob, and all these specials I watch where they actually try to mimic that walk, and no human can actually copy that walk. Look at the thighs when they flex when it steps.
Right. Yeah. It is looking like it's got a really fast gait. Like
Yeah,
Like
it-
it's almost floating along the ground. you
That's
know?
what I'm saying. That's how they all say Bigfoots walk. They glide. You know,
Like-
their
like
head
it's
don't bob
so-
up and
it's
down
so-
like humans.
Its steps are so big, you know.
And
It
the
look-
crazy thing is, they go back to that exact location now, right?
Yeah.
And they put the camera exactly where he was. And they can measure it by the trees and everything. That thing was 8.5 feet tall,
What
man.
were they originally filming for?
They were looking for Bigfoot.
They were actually.
they were
looking-
actually out there
That's the
looking
thing
for
that makes it
I know, that sounds like it's fake, but
fake. You know,
if
they were
you're
actually
out there
looking
as
for
many
Bigfoot.
times for as many years as those guys were, maybe they got lucky.
Or maybe they were like, man, we gotta do something. We've been wasting our whole life. We gotta produce something.
Of course, it's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? But that's some of the best footage. And now I'm going to go to the second best footage, okay? But this is just audio. What happened is in 1978, okay? This is called the Sierra Sounds. In 1978, these hunters were in this cabin and they were not attacked, but they heard all these Bigfoots and they saw all these Bigfoots. So they went back and they brung recording equipment. Now this vocalizations you're about to hear have been studied by scientists, Rob, and they say it's impossible for a human to have done it. Just let's listen to this shit. Oh, and the guy's calling back. You hear the human calling, and they're responding. But listen to them talk. You can hear the chatter between them. I'm not sure. I think Pennsylvania or something.
It's not showing on the street.
Keep playing it, keep playing it.
Is that just a video with the audio?
Listen. You guys show this?
That's our job. We know where we look for tracks and only for
Well, it gets more in it. I should have got the edited version so I can get right to it, but you start to hear the chatter later on in the video, and it sounds similar to like a kung fu movie. They're just, but they're cocking at each other, but it's probably a language they understand. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, and this guy's got a lot of those recordings, or is
No,
it
he just
one?
got that one weekend. They
He's
went
got
up
that
there
one.
and they got it all, you know. But that's called the Sierra Sounds, and it's one of the most famous Bigfoot audio recordings there is, you know.
All right, I want to show this footage. This is number 17 of the videos. This is a dog with a GoPro on his collar, basically capturing some Bigfoot footage.
Oh, dang.
So I want to show that real quick. Do you got other Bigfoot footage you need to show?
Yeah, I got some
Okay.
dope shit.
Okay. So this one is like pretty quick.
Was he sent out on a Bigfoot quest?
No,
You see it cross right in front of there.
This is just like, you know, they just captured this by accident. Just a Bigfoot chilling. You know what I mean? The dog doesn't seem to be spooked by it. That's interesting.
I feel that this is like, if I was making a YouTube video of this dog walking through the woods, I would plant something like this. Just so people in the
Sure.
comments would talk about it.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the
There's a lot
Bigfoot
of
footage is
hoaxes.
fake.
Yeah.
Let me show you some real shit though. Can I go to that Bigfoot footage thing, Jeff? Listen, I'm gonna show you this Bigfoot footage. This is a compilation of Bigfoot footage, but the first like 6 videos are very convincing. There's some of my favorite Bigfoot footages, you know. I wanna tell you, you know, there's been so many reports, and to make a report on seeing Bigfoot, you got to go through a lot to do that. You know what I mean? To make an official report, you know? But if you look at a map of the United States where all the reports were made, most of them are up in the Pacific Northwest, you know? And really, it's incredible. And believe it or not, there's a lot in Michigan. Look at this. Bigfoot up there smashing the shit out of a fucking eagle.
Oh my God.
I love that footage.
It's too smooth.
That's
it
so
looks,
patriotic.
It looks
Right.
Okay, if it's fake, you'll see the next one, but I love that footage. Just
like
smashing
their
the shit.
wings don't open like that when they're in distress.
How do you know when they're being smashed to pieces? He's fucking that thing up too.
It looks like a prop. Like their wings are too open. Is he eating it? What's happening?
Also, how big could it be if that's the? That's
Oh, they think that's a baby Sasquatch. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Up there climbing, being crazy.
It's a little foot.
And just snatch, a little foot. Just snatch that eagle out of the sky.
Why are these all filmed on Nokia cell phones? That's the problem with
A lot of them are
footage.
old. And you got to remember, Rube.
But there are good cameras.
A Bigfoot looks like a guy in a suit, though.
Yeah. Does that mean the quality needs to be 3 frames per second to get a video of them?
Well, there's some better footage up here, but there's also some really interesting footage I'm about to show you here on this reel. A lot of this is obviously accidental because there's no way they could set a plant up on the other side of like you'll see coming up here in a minute. There's a lot of this footage where you got to use your own wisdom to decide whether or not you think it's fake. You know what I mean? But some of it, it seems like they would have to go through too many fucking lengths to set up a Bigfoot video. And these people that made these videos, we don't know who the fuck they are. They didn't get famous off it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So if they did it to be, oh, this is my favorite one. Look at him sitting against a tree and he looks over. Bigfoot just sitting there eating grass. What? You looking at me?
We can't get a shot of the face?
Yeah, watch. It'll get closer, but he's sitting there eating grass.
It's like a side profile. Okay.
Yeah, and then he looks right at the camera. I like this one. What are you looking at?
Right. It's
You
like,
look
oh,
like
shit.
Harry from Harry and the
And then he
Hendersons.
takes off. And then it takes off.
The cameraman takes off when the Bigfoot notices him.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I ain't sticking around.
It's so dope, though. I love that one. There's like 2 or 3 more on this reel I want to show you. These are some of the best of the best. Okay, coming up, this is a guy that was had his dashboard cam, and he's a logger. And as he's pulling out, you see this Bigfoot standing there in the fucking trees looking at him.
I'm just saying, there's no way the camera quality can be this bad on a dash cam.
In the blizzard.
I don't think so.
Well, coming soon.
It's 8 pixels.
Coming soon, eventually, now that the cameras are all 4K and everything.
Why did we stop capturing Bigfoot in the 4K cameras, though?
Well, we haven't yet. It's coming.
Well, Todd Standing captured some big.
Check this out. This is at
Is that a cow?
what's that park, Rob, with the volcano underneath it?
You talking about Yellowstone?
Yellowstone. This is Yellowstone right here. This was released by the Yellowstone Park people.
Okay.
Okay? Those are some fucking bison chilling. And in the background, there's a family of Bigfoots.
Yeah, wait a minute.
And this was released by Yellowstone. See him back there?
So one of the interesting things about Bigfoots too is that there's been like certain tribes of Native Americans.
Keep going. There's one more I want you to see, though. There's one more I want you to see, Rob.
Okay.
This is my favorite one. This is the one. All right. They're up on a mountain, and they're looking through a high-powered telescope at another mountain. You know what I'm saying? And what do they see? A Bigfoot trekking through the snow. Okay, and they were not Bigfoot hunters. These people were just mountain climbers, you know what I mean? And they're just looking through the telescope and they see it trekking through the snow at a high speed. How could that be a person? It doesn't even have any luggage or any backpack or
How
nothing.
can you see if it's a person or not? Look at it.
Well, that thing's
It's
not-
a pixel.
It can't be a person. It's moving too fast.
It's moving super fast. And if it is a person, where the fuck is it going? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to the store? See, that's really convincing, especially when you hear the audio. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to show one more, and then I'm going to pass it to you, Rob. But one more, okay? Let me show this footage I got called Bigfoot Looking Up. This is a shot.
From the documentary?
No.
Okay.
This is a shot where there was a camera on an eagle's nest. You know how they do that so you can see the eagles? They put like a GoPro up there looking at an eagle's nest with the eggs and everything, and people can live stream, go on there and see the live stream of it. A Bigfoot came walking up under it. And when you see this Bigfoot look up and contemplate climbing up there to get those eggs or whatever, you see its face. And to me, this is one of the most best Bigfoot footages there is. Its face looks incredibly real to me. This is how I imagine Bigfoot to look. Look at it. It keeps looping. You can let it keep looping.
Okay.
Look at that.
That's very ape-like right there.
Yeah. Is his mouth?
That's his
open?
mouth gaping open, yeah.
But that's a little suspect because like the face isn't really moving at all.
Yeah.
There's no
Whose
face.
face moves?
I'm just saying, like his mouth is open. It's like a mask.
He's up there thinking. He's looking at this shit. Am I gonna climb up there and get it or no? You know what I mean?
Right.
What's he supposed to be doing, you know?
So anyway, I wanted to bring up the history of Bigfoot. So throughout the history, like even way back in the day, there's been Native American tribes that have created art, like 500,000 years ago, where they depicted like hairy giant creatures.
Yes.
That they called the family, basically, and they're on the caves and stuff. There's like drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
Where they're depicting like these hairy-like creatures that they knew about even way back in the day, and they try to interact with and kind of like stay out of their way. You know what I mean? And they describe them as a close like bond. And then like there's been President Theodore Roosevelt in his book that he wrote also way back in the day. He talks about being on a camping trip where they were being stalked by Bigfoots.
Right.
And then one of his companions got his neck broke by one of them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
and in Australia, they're called Yowie. In Canada, they're called Sabe. In fucking in the Himalayan mountains or whatever, they're called Yeti. There's hundreds of names all over the world for what this creature is.
Do you remember the story of the miners back in 1924? They got attacked.
Yeah, the guy that got put in a sleeping bag.
Yeah, they were they were out there, trying to do work in the middle of the woods, like in their mine. They're mining and stuff. And they got attacked by what they described basically Bigfoot creature that was hurling big logs at them and rocks and stuff, like trying to like get them to leave their area. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of like stories all throughout history from like even 1,000 years ago of people reporting on Bigfoot even before it got popularized. Like when did it actually get really popular?
I think when the guy in California saw the prints near his construction site.
Right, okay.
Where they were logging, and the newspaper coined it or whatever it as Bigfoot, and then it just went from there. But man, you go back to the 1800s, Rob, like you said. You can go back to the 1700s, and there's newspaper articles about it. See, the thing is, the Native Americans in some areas they used to battle with Sasquatch, in other areas they were friends with Sasquatch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Native Americans were at peace with the Sasquatch in a lot of areas.
Yeah, they just kind of left each other alone. Like
That's
the Native
right.
Americans.
But then when the fucking Europeans got here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They came shooting and blasting everything, and that's what made the Bigfoots not fuck with humans ever again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to get wiped off. Their entire existence relies on remaining elusive. Their entire fucking being relies on hiding and not being seen, and they certainly have a lot of area to do that. Now, like Ruby was saying though, remember you were saying before, you don't like to believe that they can turn invisible.
Yeah.
Or go through another.
I think that's almost like a joke theory. Like I know there's people out there that believe it, but
it's too much to believe.
Too much, yeah.
First, you have to believe there's a creature alive, an animal that's 7 or 8 foot tall.
A huge creature.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then you have to
That can
believe it
be
also has the
elusive.
ability to walk through dimensions and turn invisible shit.
Right,
It's
that's
too much. My theory is Bigfoot is an animal. It's a very rare animal, and I think that truck drivers and hunters kill them all the time. But I think the government has a way of hiding it, you know, because I think they feel it's safe and it's better to let it remain as a myth. You know what I mean? And I think the government can cover up any fucking thing they want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And as far as Bigfoot footage, you know, how come they never caught on film and everything? Well, there's actually Bigfoot footage every day coming out. Every day.
So I want to play this phone call real quick. This is a guy back in 1990, because there's people reporting too that Bigfoot kills their dogs and stuff.
And their livestock.
And their livestock and all that. So this guy called. Now, this is a very believable call in my opinion. He describes like the Bigfoot, and he says it went all black, like, you know what I mean, like it just went all black, like some kind of camouflage tactic or whatever. But anyway, let's listen to this call here. This video number 20. It's a 911 call. This guy's calling about Bigfoot killing his dog.
911. What are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. It looks like a man. I don't know what it was. Just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. But whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
Dio!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, the guy is on foot.
I don't know what... It's a big, real big person. That's all I can say.
Okay, but it is a person.
Yeah, I'd say it was a person or somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Is he a black male or a white male? Did you actually see whether, or was he just wearing black?
He's all black and he's big. He is big.
Okay, so let's talk about the alleged behavior of Bigfoots.
Okay.
So
they're curious.
They're very curious. People report they leave them gifts. They like receiving gifts. They take gifts.
Especially if you give them gifts.
Like
Yeah.
crows?
They give you things that they find, Rube, like marbles, or like they can take like a daisy, you know, the stem of a daisy, and tie it up so that it's super fresh and all tied up, and they leave you things like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some people bring food and leave it in their backyard for the Bigfoots, and the Bigfoots in return give it gifts. You know what I mean?
There's something I want to bring up. In the video that was playing with the 911 call, it showed a photo of a foot. And in that photo, the toes were kind of like, it looked like a person's foot, but if you just like elongated it. And I know I'm supposed to be the skeptic, but this right here. This is the size of my head. This is a supposed foot from a documentary that I think we're going to get into in a second.
Yeah, Todd Standing's documentary. He's the guy you were talking about, Rob, that filmed the Bigfoot right on their face.
Yeah, exactly.
We actually, me and Joey had him on our during COVID, we had him on our talk show. Now, Rube, that fucking footprint right there from Todd Standing is quite spectacular because the Todd Standing footage is amazing. He gets right on the Bigfoot's face. You know what I'm saying? And shows it. And this is supposedly the footprint right from that creature.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes, very fucking crazy. And that documentary is called Discovering Bigfoot. And when I first got into Bigfoot about 4 years ago, Rob, it was Mom that called me.
Yeah.
And she said, Joe, you have to look into Bigfoot. And I was like, Mom,
snap.
Bigfoot's corny as hell, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, promise me you'll look into Bigfoot. Promise me you'll actually look into it. So I go to YouTube, and the first thing that popped up was Todd Standing's documentary, which to this day stands as one of the best.
Yeah, I just want to say something about that. I watched about like the first maybe 30 minutes, and in the first few minutes, he just goes on about his skills for some reason. He's like, I can climb trees. I
Oh,
can
yeah,
camouflage.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know archery. And I was like, what does that have to do with Bigfoot? What
Now,
are you telling
I'm
me?
not saying Todd Standing is not a
got mad
character.
skills.
He was very much a character. He was like, I'm trained in this. Bigfoot, we are friends. I was like, all right.
Now, we were going to go spend time with Todd Standing in the woods. Remember, Rob?
Was that the
And go
Florida,
Bigfoot hunting.
Florida backyard?
No, not that guy. This is
There's
different
a different guy. Okay.
Yeah. Todd Standing, for a couple $1,000s, he'll take you to where the Bigfoots are. But we were about to go, but then he said, oh, that area up in Canada is snowed out right now, but I know another area in Oregon. And I'm like, you know where Bigfoot's at twice?
Right.
You know where he
You
is
found
twice.
Bigfoot twice?
Right.
Come on, man.
Share some Bigfoot with the rest of us.
That's too much to believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, let somebody else discover him. Now, Jeeves, how's it looking in the chat room? If you can remember, how many ones and how many zeros do we have?
So we had about 10 zeros, and I was unable to keep track at the amount of ones we were getting.
Was it a lot?
Oh, it was flooded with ones for a minute there.
Is that people that believe, right?
Yeah, people believe we're
Yeah,
ones.
my
People didn't
people!
believe we're zero.
Rube, you have this actual footprint. Look at how big it is, and my head is extra big.
Right.
I've always been known to have a big head. Look at this foot. How can you not believe this creature is real?
Well, okay. From the video we watched, the toes had a different shape to them. They were a little bit more flared out. I noticed that. And then I looked back at this one, and I was like, why does this look like a human foot, but elongated?
Man, what human got that foot?
I don't know, Bigfoot? Bigfoot, probably.
Okay, so one of the things they like to do is they like to knock wood and create like knocking noises. And with rocks, they like to throw rocks.
They like to snap branches and to like stop people from going in a specific path, I think.
Exactly, and they like to create the tree structures.
Yes. I wish we had a picture of the tree.
We do. Let's show
Are
this
they the Blair
video.
Witch? Like what?
Now,
Let's show
nobody
this
knows
video.
exactly what the tree structures are for.
Yeah, some think that it's like a warning. They're warning you to stay out of their territory, their area. Like they create these tree structures as like a way to communicate. But they've been known to take branches, like large branches, and twist them together too, and, intertwine like large.
One, Rob, there's another guy claiming that he has a Bigfoot corpse, a frozen Bigfoot corpse, and it looks so fucking real. And he's saying any scientist can come test it, anything they want. You know what I mean? And he has a frozen Bigfoot corpse that his father gave him.
Okay, right. So let's show the photos, if you could, photo 21 and 22. This is of the Minnesota Iceman. So this guy back in 1968 claiming that he found the corpse of a Bigfoot, basically kept it frozen and he took it on display all around, traveling with it, like carnivals and other things, just basically showing off his Bigfoot corpse. And then as of 2013, it's on display at the Museum of the Weird in Austin, Texas. You can still go see this thing.
But it's a replica.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
That's not the real thing?
The government was coming for it, Rob. So he had a replica made.
That I believe.
And he hid the real one.
Okay.
Yes. Because they were shutting them down. They were coming to get him.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that do hoaxes, with the Bigfoot, and that's the problem. Because all these people that are, getting caught doing hoaxes with Bigfoot,
they're fucking it up.
It kind of fucks it up and decredits all the other sightings,
Yeah.
And I want to show this footage right here of this guy. This was later out to be found out a hoax. This guy basically claiming he shot and killed a Bigfoot. I think it was a baby Bigfoot or something.
Oh, I know this one. So this guy's saying it was a hoax now, Rob?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. It was a DNA test that actually discovered it 2 years later that it was actually
Justin
a bear
claims that he shot
of
an
blood.
adult and a juvenile Sasquatch, and that he killed the young one.
Bigfootologist.
That's what
It's
I
made
am.
him one of the
You're a
most infamous
Bigfootologist?
figures in the
That's right.
Bigfoot world today.
Man, fuck this guy if he faked it. Who cares?
It all began
Well,
on a
maybe he
hunting
didn't
trip
know,
to
but it was a
California's
bear that he
remote
shot.
Sierra
But when he came
Mountains.
back, the body was
In
gone.
October of 2010,
Fake ass,
I
faker,
was
fraud
hunting with a
ass,
friend of
fake.
mine up in the Sierras. It was a day just like any other.
Man,
It was
I
an
heard
area
this
that
one
we knew that
story.
we liked from the beginning. We
Really
said,
blew
yeah,
my
we're gonna
mind.
Go here, and we're gonna kill
This
something.
farmer had a Bigfoot, Rob. caught.
Came around the corner and we're
Okay.
driving.
And
we're looking into this
in
open
a
meadow,
barn, in a cave.
And we see this
And he
creature.
had a shocker thing.
Me and my buddy saw it
And
at the
he
same
was
time,
on
we
the
slammed the brakes.
dark web
Maybe for the
selling
first
fucking
second or two,
tickets
I did think it was
to
a
come
bear,
see the Bigfoot.
but I looked and I saw
Okay.
it
And
was
so
about
these
too
two
late.
college kids went to go see
was
the
just sitting
Bigfoot and they
there
wrote
just
their
looking at this
story,
thing,
you know what I
thinking, this
mean?
is a monster.
And the
Seven
guy
and a
was
half,
shocking
8
it with a
tall,
prodder
600
to get it to
pounds.
wake up and fucking move so they could, the
a couple
college
seconds
kids
go
could
by,
look at
decided
it, you
I'm gonna
know?
kill
it. Yeah.
And that story was horrifying, man.
Yeah, right.
And it's all done, it's on YouTube and it's all narrated, but I didn't want to bring it because it's like 15 minutes long, you know what I mean? But that story is so fascinating, man. It sounds very real the way they wrote it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They walk into the barn and the stench hits them, you know what I mean?
Have you ever went to one of the Bigfoot museums that they have?
No.
Yeah, there's Bigfoot museums that exist.
Are
so
they
you
like
can go.
pop up or like?
Oh, you talking about the ones down south and
Yeah.
like little,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So there's
That's like a tourist thing or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's a Bigfoot hunt festival where they go out and they offer like a $2 million reward if you can kill a Bigfoot. So they gather every year. It's like a big festival and they go hunt for Bigfoot.
That's the only thing I don't want to do.
Right, try to
Is go
kill
hunting
one.
Bigfoot.
I know, right?
Man, I'm too old for that shit. I don't want to get off in the woods and start looking for Bigfoot, man. It's like, it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's always hard to believe when a Bigfoot hunter finds a Bigfoot, you know? It automatically puts a little bit of skepticism in the mix.
Right. But there's been formal studies on the existence of Bigfoot. And the one thing that came up with the scientists, they can't definitively disprove that Bigfoot doesn't exist. They could just claim it's extremely unlikely.
Yes.
You know, but there's been so many reports of tracks across across the world. Like these Bigfoot tracks they keep
Can't
finding.
up in the mountains, 10
Yeah.
feet, 10,000 feet
There's
up in
too many
elevation.
eyewitnesses that there's too much footage that they can't definitively say, yeah, that's a hoax or a fake or whatever,
Right.
you know.
And you know, man, I'll tell you this, when Mount St. Helens erupted, that's when Bigfoots really came out of the closet. When Mount St. Helens erupted, there was so much pandemonium, the Bigfoots were evacuating their spots, Rob, and they were coming into areas of the public.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of these fascinating Bigfoot stories come from when Mount St. Helens erupted. Because Bigfoots were on a scramble to survive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were forced into these areas, and mad people were seeing them, and the government was rounding them up. They had a Native American guy out there that could communicate with the Bigfoots, and they had him in yellow raincoats. And the Bigfoots were like 9 feet tall wearing raincoats, and they were hiding their appearance as they were shuffling them into this transporter. You know what I mean? And the Bigfoot and the native was making noises at them to get them to follow, and they were injured from the volcano, and it's fascinating shit.
Okay.
Okay, listen, since my last audio flopped, all right, because we didn't get to, we cut off before it got really good. I should have edited it. But I'm gonna play this other piece of footage called Sasquatch Singing, and just hear this out. I found this just yesterday, and I wanted it in the show, Rob. This
Okay.
is more audio from Bigfoot apparently singing. Fascinating shit, by the way.
Brother!
Why is it trying to translate it?
They shouldn't be trying to translate it. I just think those words sounded like that. But that guy lived on the edge of a forest, and there kept being Bigfoots coming around, so he started recording the audio. But don't that sound real, man? If you had to imagine, remember that thing I showed you looking up?
Yeah.
If you had to imagine what kind of sound that made, wouldn't that be it?
Right. No, I agree with that. Let me bring up one point about this foot cast thing. Okay, so along with foot casts, there's also been hair samples found that people would claim were Bigfoot.
Right, they get found on barbed wire and stuff.
They were chasing them, or they saw them and they were chasing them, and it got a tuft of hair or whatever. So at one point in time, science, when DNA was real popular and in effect, they took all the hair samples that everybody were claiming, like the most famous ones, and they ran tests on every single one.
Yep.
Every single one came back as an animal that exists.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did.
Man, no, it didn't, Rob.
Yes,
a
it
lot of
did.
them came back as an unknown primate.
No, it didn't, Joe.
It depends on what you're watching.
Okay.
I'm serious, Rob. I swear to God.
Well, you're
Well, what
in
are
the
you
Bigfoot
watching?
propaganda.
No, I'm
so
saying
it's
you're
changing
gonna-
what it says for you.
Whatever you're looking for, you're going to find it.
Okay.
Okay, it's like this. Oh my God, it's like me and Kuma were arguing about something. Did we really go to the moon, right?
Oh man, we don't want to go down that
And
hole.
listen,
No.
I know, but listen, he
Yeah.
pulled up this thing. He's like, we went to the moon, Joe. And I'm like, how do you know? How do you know? And he's like, look, and he sent me over this thing, and it was 10 reasons why it's a fact we went to the moon. And each one of them was compelling, and I read that shit, Rob, and I was like, damn, we went to the moon. It's a
Right.
fact.
Right.
And then I said, but you know what, Kuma? You could probably find something identical to that with 10 reasons why we didn't go to the moon. And he said, let me check. And he found it. And when I read that, I believe we didn't go to the moon. And that's what I'm saying. It's all hearsay. You know,
Right.
you can read one thing that says it's a fact. They all were animals. And then you read something else that says, no, man, it was DNA 90% human, 98% human, 2% unknown primate.
Right. Okay.
You never heard that?
Yeah. Like no. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man. So it just depends on what you want to believe, because there's so much garbage out on the internet, you know. But yeah, you can make a case for anything. You can put it. You told me this, Rob. You can put a documentary together and make a case for anything.
Right.
You can paint that picture in a documentary.
And people do all the time. 100%.
Yeah, and it's so
Because
crazy.
when a cryptozoologist makes a documentary about Bigfoot, you can best believe it's going to be slanted toward Bigfoot exists. And this is
Right,
why.
whatever their agenda is.
Yeah, whatever their agenda is.
And they're going to make it hellified believable.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
Ruby brought up something. Michigan is known for Dogman.
Wolfman, Dogman, I've heard both.
Yep, it's like a werewolf. It's another cryptid. I myself don't believe in Dogman, and I'll tell you why. Because there is not generations of Dogman on walls in the natives' caves.
Right, exactly.
There is not generations of stories of Dogman.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Slender Man. It just came up the last 20 years or so.
It's new.
Slender Man is a whole different can of worms.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? If you're talking about things like that, it's like, it's recent. Dogman is like a recent thing. And I just don't buy that shit. Bigfoot has been around since humans have been around. And they stink.
Okay, let's get into the Todd Standing footage.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Great.
Video
Hold this
31.
up. Ruby has Todd Standing's Bigfoot's footprint.
So to me, Todd Standing's videos are the most, in my opinion, the most concrete proof of like footage of Bigfoots. You know, like when you see the footage, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? You know what I mean? And I just think it's an awesome capture.
Today. Can you tell us how this lawsuit
Oh, this
came
go to
about?
31. I don't know if this is the right footage.
Well, it's been over 12
You don't have
years.
it?
I've been going to Fish and
Oh,
Wildlife
man, we don't
and
have it.
telling them.
All right, forget it.
Okay, I can tell you where to find it. We'll talk about something else while you're looking at it. But if you go to the Discovering Bigfoot documentary and you go to 1 hour, 1 minute, you'll find it.
How many times have you watched the documentary?
I watched the fuck out of it, Rube. If you go to 1 hour, 1 minute in the documentary called Discovering Bigfoot, you'll find it. Do we have any questions about Bigfoot in the chat?
We have a lot of questions and comments this week. We have, to start off the show, Lady Orchid said, grateful for this podcast, a callback to, The Secret.
Yes.
Yep. Chimps are still dope. We have people with you.
Yes,
Supported
chimps are-
us back to the chimp.
They are killers, I
the
don't
chimp
deny it.
persecution of Rob earlier tonight.
Look, I don't hate on
Unrelated.
chimpanzees. I just don't want to be around them.
That's valid.
I don't want them as a pet. I don't want to be anywhere near anybody that has one as a pet. I will not be coming over your house at any time.
Well, you know what, Rob? If you were talking about a human like that, that would be racist.
Oh my goodness.
Valid. Valid. It's valid.
I don't have a problem with them. I just don't want to be around them.
Fudge salmon.
I'm saying that they can exist out in the wild where they're supposed to be, you know?
Right.
I'll say
Not as a pet.
Fudge Salmon said JCW is going to stomp out GCW. Unrelated to tonight's topic, but shout out
Well,
our
it is
people.
going to take a big foot to stomp
It
out
is.
GCW, so.
And we're going to bring it. People said don't forget about Big Smoke.
That's right. All right, now hold on. Let's go to the Patterson Gremlin footage here. I'm sorry, the Todd Standing footage of Bigfoot, which Ruby has a plaster footprint cast.
Motivated me to come and spend this time with Todd was the extraordinary videos. I still am very interested to learn more and see more relating to these extraordinary videos. Because if indeed they are clearly some of the most astounding photos of,
Look at
of
that.
Sasquatch in existence.
Look at that!
And so I'm.
He got it on
this
its
has been a
face!
Fascinating visit, and I've been.
Rob, how can you be a
immensely impressed.
skeptic?
I've been able to see for the first time
So if you
some
Look, a female
complete
one.
segments of Todd
If you
Standing's
guys- okay.
filming of Sasquatches in another area where he's worked on, and with him
that's like
explaining
pretty
the background, which is so
clear
important.
footage, you know what I mean?
And
If that's-
I'm
See that, Rube?
firmly
Crystal
convinced that
clear.
he has
Yeah.
filmed
That's like a
Sasquatches
mask
and
or
that he has,
something.
what he has
It's pretty
portrayed in
convincing.
his documentary
their faces
are
look
indeed
stiff.
very close.
Look at how weather
portraits, in
beaten
fact,
its
of the
faces, you know
Sasquatch
what I'm
face.
saying?
It just looks callous. Like it's like, never been covered.
And this is amazing right here. Look at this Bigfoot climbing the fucking hill, man. If that's a guy in a suit, who's that athletically capable to climb a mountain, running up a mountain like that?
Standing straight up.
People can do that.
You're right, Rube. People can do that, but the effort it would take, you know what I'm saying? The monstrous effort it would take to fucking put a guy in a suit, an athletic triathlon
For the video, I
master.
zoomed in 20 times optical and obviously had no tripod. I remained in this position for at least 20 minutes while the animal you see in video 4 moved from one position to the next. I was situated over 50 yards away and downhill from his position. I was hiding beneath a large pine tree and covered by my ghillie suit. The snow was melting, so I was having to switch back and forth from video camera to still camera as water would drop down onto the lenses. He would regularly disappear from my line of sight, as I'm sure he was searching for me
pretty
in
cool.
a direction of about
With
180
the
degrees.
music
This
in
animal
there,
certainly knew I was around, but I suspect that he had no idea how close I actually
Look at
was.
how weathered
What
and
they were
chapped
doing,
his
it was
lips are.
amazing how they had this spectacularly implemented
It's
plan
definitely human-like.
to ensure that I didn't get into the spot I wanted. The day watcher had discovered me, and I became aware of it.
I love
Moments
that how he
later,
calls it
he
the
disappeared,
day
and I knew at that
watcher.
point
Right,
that
you got
he
You know,
alerted
because
the
it's
main
watching
group.
him during the day,
And I
but it doesn't
expected
know he's got that
that
high-powered
in the
lens
past,
that can go in
these animals
between
would simply
sticks and
move away.
branches and focus right on
This
his
group
face.
is entirely different from the previous group.
Now, I
was
watched this
studying in Savannah.
documentary, and I was like, what the
Previously,
fuck is
they would
left to
become aware of us, they
speculate?
would simply move away and
You know what I
really
mean? They're
have virtually
real.
no
This guy's
interaction with us
filming
after
them.
that. This species, I would say, based on where they are, because the region that they inhabit
I
is
feel like,
overlooking
man,
an area
if
where
Todd
hunters hunt and
Standing
kill. They see
did
men with
this as
guns
a
all the
hoax,
time from their high points
what a
up in the
master, 'cause
mountains.
he's
They
really
stand their
convincing
ground.
in
These
this
guys
movie.
He's
don't
the
back
master
away. They
either
don't
way.
run away.
He's the master
They
if
stand
he
their
filmed
ground
these
and
Bigfoots.
they
He's
push
the
them out.
master if he
This has
faked
been a
it,
big
and now he's
reality check for
charging
me.
people
Like I
to
said
take
earlier,
him
in the
out there.
previous
Right.
expedition that I was on
He is.
last
That's
year
what
in
we're about to
August, and I was
do.
tremendously successful.
But I wanted to
I
go to
lost the
this
video camera
location,
because
and he
they
said, "Oh, it's too
actually
snowed out
threw
this time of
stones.
year, but I can take you to Portland." And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, man! I want to go meet her."
Right.
I want to meet that one.
You just want to go hang out with her for a minute.
Now, even if he's faking it, though, Rob, even if he's faking it,
Yeah.
he's a genius.
No,
for
I
this whole
agree.
thing.
Like, yeah, I totally agree with
And
that.
you know, Bigfoots are curious. Like, there's so many stories of people. Oh, I'm graduating college. I got my new girlfriend. I'm gonna take her up to my parents' cabin. You know, I never been up there since I was a little kid. So they go up to this remote cabin or whatever, and they're in there, and all of a sudden, something's throwing rocks at the wall. Or something's throwing rocks at the ceiling, Rube, or acorns or something. And they're like, I'm literally in the middle of fucking nowhere. What could be throwing a rock at my house? And they go out, and they're looking around, they don't see nothing. They go back inside, and then rocks are hitting the wall again. It's because the Bigfoots are trying to draw them out just so they can look at them.
Right.
Because they're curious. You know, they heard the car pulling up, the voices, you know, and they're like, whoa, or they smell the smoke coming out of the chimney or whatever, you know. So they descend on that house, and they're just looking. And Bigfoots have a fascination with kids. Like, there's all these, it's not a creepy fascination. I've never heard one report about it creepy. But they even look in the windows of your cabin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And there's footage of Bigfoots looking through the windows.
Right. What do they eat?
They eat, good question.
Do they eat animals?
Good question.
Yes. I've heard they eat both. I heard they
similar
eat
to
berries
chimpanzees.
and fucking fish.
Right.
And then also
just like chimpanzees.
Yeah. Like there's this one story, these guys hunting,
So they're omnivores.
Yeah, they eat everything.
yeah,
pretty much.
whatever, garbage.
Right.
You know, there's this one story of a town in North Carolina that, small ass town that had a strip mall with dumpsters behind the strip mall. And it's a town in the middle of the forest. And there used to be a Bigfoot that would come and eat, an old ass gray Bigfoot would come and eat out of the dumpster. And the whole town knew about it, Rob.
Right.
And they just didn't report it because the Bigfoot was never a threat to nobody. All it did was eat out of the dumpster behind the Chinese food place.
Right, so they just let it go on.
They just let it go, and people
nobody
would park
filmed
there
it?
and watch it.
Nobody filmed it?
Nobody, well, I guess not. It was this was supposed to be back in the day too.
Right.
But the whole town knew about it, and they just left it alone, you know, because it just would come out of the woods and eat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You know, the thing about Todd Standing's footage too is it's you know, it's still like glimpses, right? There's no like pure high definition, this is a Bigfoot chilling like for a long period of time. Like you can't fake this type shit, you know?
Right.
Because even that is like questionable, you know, it could be a mask technically. It'd be a lot of work to do that mask, but people could do it.
It did blink though.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff on there, you know, again, with CGI technology, you can make stuff like that happen pretty easy.
You know, I just would like two things to happen before I die. I would like disclosure from UFOs. I'd like to
so
know.
what do you mean, like the government announcing it finally? Like,
yeah,
hey,
there's life on this other planet.
Yeah.
Like we found this planet, there's city lights on it. It's a fact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That
I
would be
would
dope,
like-
because how much would that change everything?
That's what I'm saying. I want to
Yeah.
see and witness that change.
That would be great.
And I think it'd be great to also find out there's Sasquatch.
Yeah,
But I
'cause
know that's a much bigger chance.
Either
less
one,
chance.
either one, it would shake the tree, you know, the foundation of your reality. It would be so exciting for something new to just all of a sudden pop into the world. Not just your life, but everybody's lives. Like, you know.
Let's talk about, before we got to go, let's talk about what would happen if Sasquatch were real, Rob. If the government, something happened, somebody live streamed shooting a Bigfoot.
I think it would be the
And they fucking did what's it called when you go into the body?
Autopsy.
dissection. Yeah.
Autopsy.
They did an autopsy on it, live streaming, hidden in the woods,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So you got the clearest 4K fucking footage of they're all live streaming, right?
Yeah.
And they do a dissecting on it. If something happened like that and somehow Bigfoots were announced, first of all, I think all the people that live in rural areas, like country areas, they would become scared, right?
I don't think so. I think they would like look at it as like bears or something. Like there would be it'd be big news for a while, and then it would just die back down and it'd be just accepted as another animal that's walking around on the planet.
Exactly agree with you.
And it'd be like bears, right? Oh, I live in an area with Bigfoots, so you'd be a little scared. You know what I mean? Like
But
you
I
are
know
of
they would
bears.
want people to see them. Would they tour one, Rob?
Oh, like capture one? Yeah,
And
sure.
bring
Like
it on
they
tour?
Well.
Or would that be inhumane?
How intelligent are they? Because if they actually have human intelligence, there would be groups like trying to make it so you couldn't do that. Because they're like, this isn't an animal, this is an intelligent creature.
That's
now.
right. And they would be
You
trying
can't-
to breed it, and it'd probably do the work of 8 men. So they'd want to everybody want to own a Bigfoot to help in the fucking crops and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Seriously.
but there would be activists that would be lobbying to give them rights like similar to a human. Like, in other words, because these are intelligent creatures, we can't use them for those purposes. You know what I mean?
That's why I think they're hiding it, Rob. That's why I think the government is hiding it, because of that argument.
Yeah.
It's so close to a human. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, and then you got the what would happen next, which would be the straight up Bigfoot wars, which would be a guerrilla type war campaign held in the woods with people trying to take out Bigfoots and them using guerrilla like tactics of invisibility.
That's
and
why I said big game hunters that
travels.
don't care about
You know what I'm
how
saying?
intelligent they are. They want to kill one. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
They would be everywhere. What's left of the Bigfoots, I think, would be wiped out. You know?
That's probably why they don't ever make themselves known. Like, they're smart enough to know what's going to happen just looking at the history of man and what happens with when other creatures get discovered.
Yeah.
Like, they're probably looking at it like, man, if we ever became known, we're fucked.
And
you
that
know?
could be why the government's looking at it like that, though, because
Yeah.
they're like, if they ever are public and the public does know they're real, you know, they're gonna be extinct, or they're
So
gonna.
it would really come down to how intelligent they are. Like, if they're really like just almost like animal-like intelligence, I think they would be fine. Like, people would be like, probably like you said, probably trying to hunt them for sport and stuff. But for the most part, over time, they would probably just become like, you know, like the bear is now. Like, people are fascinated with bears, right? They still want to watch footage of it and all that. But, you know, it becomes old hat after a while. They've been around for a long time.
Man, I don't know if it'd ever be like bears. They're so human-like. You know,
Again, how intelligent we talk. So are gorillas, so are chimpanzees.
I mean, I've seen an orangutan
We already
driving a golf
established
cart,
that.
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. And people aren't tripping over that. They're just, it's like, oh, it's common now. You know what I mean? It's like there's people having
I've seen a chimp riding a bike, a 10-speed, you know what I mean? Like, you can see a Bigfoot riding a motherfucking scooter or something down the
Yeah.
street, you know, in the city.
But for the most part, there's never been like reports of Bigfoot attacks and all that. So I don't think people would hate on Bigfoots. You know what I mean? They wouldn't like, oh, we got to kill him. We got to rat. I don't think it'd be like that at all.
What about the footage? I don't have it, but what about the footage of the Bigfoot stoling those logs and shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
What-
or
were they-
shaking a tree.
Were they throwing it at people?
They're throwing it at the oil workers that are taking the fucking land. They're taking the land,
okay,
and it's
all right.
standing right at the edge of the woods, and it just throws this massive tree. Of
Right.
course, it's super bootleg footage, like it was filmed
All
with a
shaky,
potato.
of course.
Yeah.
And grainy.
Yeah.
And out of focus. And from a crazy range. But
the reason why Bigfoots,
Okay.
let me finish my point. The reason why Bigfoots are fascinated with kids is because they know they're not in danger. They could just have a second to watch and observe a human being, you know what I mean? Out of their own curiosity, you know?
Yeah.
And so they watch kids. And it's also been known the stories where they kidnap kids, you know what I mean? But they don't kill them. They just kidnap them to hang out for a minute, you know? It's all good.
Maybe they would be hunted and eradicated if they're trying to kidnap kids, man. Like, what the fuck?
And then what about the missing 411?
What's that?
You don't know what that is?
No, I do not.
Oh man, it's a series of books by his name is right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's about all the people that go missing in the forest, Rob.
Oh yeah.
And there are people. His name is on the tip of my tongue. David Paulides. He writes a series of books. They're like $150 each, but it's covered with real facts. This isn't what we're talking about, myths and beliefs. These are facts, you know.
It's terrifying because people come up missing in the deep woods all the fucking time.
All the time. They go missing, and then like a kid goes missing out of a backyard, once again, that borders a forest or whatever, and they don't know how, but all of a sudden the next day the kid is found on an island in the middle of a swamp that there was no way he could have got to.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a fact.
They like teleported them over there or something.
Yeah, or somebody grabbed him and just moved him through the woods mad fast and type of shit, you know?
Wasn't there a guy that told a story? I seem to remember he had he claimed he saw Bigfoot. Then he had a fucking missing time like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And then he all of a sudden woke up and he was chilling with no pants on or something. I'm serious. And it's not a funny story. It's like he's dead ass. Like,
yeah. I'll bet he's dead ass after that.
That's right.
His ass is dead.
Well, he's not claiming he got raped. He's just like, man, for some reason my pants were
Right. What else reason would his pants be gone?
You know, a lot of those people come up missing, man. It could be some wild men out in the woods.
Man,
just
there's
killers.
some real fascinating
Like
stories in that
killers.
missing 411 though, Rob.
Yeah, I got
Like
you.
people go missing and they're found, and little kids are like, "Oh, the bear man took me."
Right.
You know, the bear man took me and hid me in this cave.
Yeah, right.
Up this mountain.
Yeah.
That's a cave in the side of a mountain. You don't know how the kid could have possibly got in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like real fascinating stories that are actually documented police reports that just cannot be explained. And once they investigate something like that and they realize there's no plausible answer, they just say, "Oh, we don't know." And it
Right.
just passes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though it's like a mystery that should be #1 on the news, because how the fuck could it have possibly happened?
Mhm.
When there's no answer, you just walk away from it like, "Oh, I don't understand."
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you can always like, oh, that guy's a kook or whatever.
Right.
You know, what the hell is he talking about? It's all crazy, his story.
But you know, yeah, there's a lot. Man, if we knew the answer, ladies and gentlemen, to every fucking question, if we knew every mystery, Rube, how lame would this world be?
Yeah.
There'd be
Lame.
nothing to find, nothing to discover, nothing to wonder about.
It'd be boring.
It'd be so whack. Thank God for Bigfoots, man.
Right. That's it.
And aliens and all that
Whether
shit.
they exist or not, they're fun to think about. You know, that's for sure.
Yes.
There's inklings of proof that they might exist.
That's right.
I'll say.
I believe we're wrapping up here. There's something I want to say. This is my first time out doing something from the 2018 Juggalo Furry incident. I'm trying to reinvent myself.
furry incident.
I'm trying to reinvent myself from that.
You talking about
So,
Snake Busters?
Yeah. So really the only place I'm active now is my Discord. So I do want to shout out some of my friends on there. We have my good buddies Lyric, Scran, God Sent Me 1985. He's a cool dude. All of my moderators, I want to thank you all. And you will be seeing more of me. This is not my first time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's right.
I'll say. I got our 2 comments of the night. One from our YouTube chat, one from our Twitch chat. From our YouTube chat, Neo Voodoo. This is going to help your cause, Jay. Cultures around the world that have little communication and trade with other cultures all have a name for Bigfoot.
Right.
Right, like, so-
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Throughout history, even where they never talked basically from around the world,
But they
they're
have.
all seen and have legends of hairy ape-like giant creatures roaming around.
And then from our Twitch chat, you know how a Bigfoot tells time? With his Sasquatch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, cool, man. Well, I think we really covered this subject. It's very saturated with a lot of stories. The truth of it, I think, is somewhere in between of everything we talked about. But I do really like the web of evolution as opposed to the straight evolution. Like when you look at the web of evolution, the fact that gorillas exist, chimpanzees, like all these different forms of ourself, right? That went down a different evolutionary chain. Could there be a hidden evolutionary chain that we never really found yet?
We discover something like 2,000 species on the earth we didn't know existed every year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Especially in the ocean, there's tons of stuff, new life always being discovered. So is it possible out there in the woods, there's a 9-foot hairy ape that smells like rotten eggs running around, looking through the windows at your children as they sleep?
I should have left that piece out about Bigfoot.
I mean, perhaps. That is the reality of the world we live in. Until next time, we will see you on the Bruce Brothers podcast. Thanks a lot for Ruby. Thanks a lot for everybody for joining in.
Jeeves, thank you.
Jeeves, thank you.
Everybody in the
For
chat,
everybody
thank you.
that joined in tonight. We'll catch you all next time.
Next week.
Yes.